Okay, I need your undivided attention, sir.
Go ahead, babe, go ahead.
So when I think of like the beginning, right? I was still a Jehovah's Witness, even when I was like, when I say beginning, I mean like beginning of our friendship, um, where I wasn't a practicing witness at that time. But I remember listening to JFK. Um, what's the
I think I know you're talking about one of
his speeches and
speeches,
his
yeah.
debates. And I
Yeah.
remember always the two of us having the silliest and kind of stupidest, I hate to say that word, but also the deepest conversations at the same time.
Mhm.
And a lot of things, I don't know if you intentionally planted seeds in my head back in the day because we were teenagers,
Mhm.
but I feel like a lot of, as you kind of circle back around to the beginning, a lot of things that you and I used to watch or listen to or talk about, they tend to come back in those
Yeah,
cycles.
yeah. I mean, and I definitely intentionally try to plant seeds, even though you may not understand it, you know, in that moment. I pray that, you end up understanding it for years to come as you yourself start to become more attuned into, you know, uh this I guess level of awareness. But I mean, I've lost friends doing this, I've lost family doing this. It's not for everybody,
The spiritual journey.
Yeah, I believe it is for everybody, but I just feel like if you're awakened, it's hard to try to awaken somebody else in their moment in their life because everybody has their time.
Hmm.
And it's just like you have to give them grace. And
Yeah. And at one time, I remember even talking to you, and you were saying, "I have to just put this aside right now, and I just need to experience the humanness
Yep.
of this life." And you were
Mhm.
like, "Okay, I know the wisdom of the universe. I'm just gonna put it over here for a minute, and I just want to experience what it is to be human." And I felt like that was very kind of jaw dropping for me because I'm like, "What the hell?" Like, but you know that you could just manifest the heck out of your life.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's laziness.
Well,
you
we're
know,
allowed to have
I
that.
mean, yeah, exactly. I think that just humans are just naturally just lazy, we want we want to be comfortable and we don't want to do much. But I think that complacency and stagnation is just, I don't know, I just feel like it's a curse. So we're not made to just sit still, just like the human emotion. It never sits still, right? It's always moving. It's always in motion. Energy is always in motion. So um, I just believe that, we're made to have certain experiences, whether good or bad, but always take everything as a life lesson, you know?
Yes. Yes. And we are wired for survival, for safety.
Yeah.
And so we can find comfort in those lazy moments. But at the same time, when you let yourself stay there too long, that's probably one of the number one complaints I hear from clients is feeling stuck. And that's what it brings up in us when we stay there for too long.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I want to talk specifically about your journey. Can you tell me, because maybe I don't even know fully, how did you awaken or kind of hop on this spiritual path?
Um, I'm gonna try to be as transparent as possible. Um, I'm gonna say after high school, maybe the first couple of years in college, that's when I started my spiritual awakening. I noticed that a lot of the music that I was listening to, the music videos, they were like a lot more darker, just a lot more bold. I mean, I grew up Catholic, but I'm not like a practicing Catholic, and I'm not like a religious person, but I do know enough about symbols and symbology, and it's just like the symbology in a lot of the music videos that I was watching was just very obvious, and it was just like, all right, this doesn't feel like art. This feels like, how would I say, this feels like subconscious programming. That's what it made me feel like.
I do remember that actually. I
Yeah,
remember you saying it's like they're hypnotizing us
yeah,
through the
yeah.
music.
That, and it was just like, I don't know, it just made me feel weird, and not to just be quote unquote woke, but it just made me feel weird. It just made me feel like, what is going on here? Like, it just made me question and ask, what is really going on here? There's got to be something deeper. And I think from there is when I just started, I guess you could say, just like looking for a purpose. Like, why am I alive? Why am I here? Where do we go when we die? Like, is the soul real? Things like that. That's when I just started digging deep.
And at that time, the work that you were doing, because you were in healthcare and you were helping people and you were kind of like a caregiver.
Yeah, I was working with people with developmental disabilities. At that time, it was particularly individuals with cerebral palsy, muscular I always mess this word up.
Must
Muscular scoliosis.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you feel like so you always, I feel like, fell into, right now you're in a creative
Hmm.
space as a filmmaker, but prior to, you were going to school for nursing, you were helping people with disabilities. Do you feel like that was just something that was always innately you? Like, I'm connected to something more. I want to help. I want to serve. Or do you feel like that helped you awaken? Because at the time that you and I became very close, you were working with, I'm not going to say his name, but you were working with somebody that was blind and he lived right next door. And that
Yeah.
was kind of the catalyst for our friendship.
Yeah. No, that's so crazy. Wow. You really took it back. That's definitely memory lane. Yeah. You're right. And you could say his name, Dorian. I miss
Oh, okay.
Dorian.
I love you, Dorian.
Yeah, right. I gotta go visit him. But yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so. I think it was always just naturally in me to help people. Is I feel like when it comes to helping people in general, if it's not in your heart, it's just not in your heart to help people. But I just always had that in my heart, in my spirit. And my mom also, I guess the way my upbringing was, she taught me to treat people the way you would want to be treated. And I mean, I guess that stuck. But even like I thought that I was meant to help people so much that I went to school for nursing, and it was just like I sucked at nursing. Nursing is definitely not for the weak. It's a lot of studying, a lot of commitment, a lot of dedication, a lot of discipline, a lot of studying. Yeah,
You
and a lot
gave
of
it a good
studying.
go, though.
Yeah, I definitely gave it a good go, but yes, I'm just gonna say that it's not for everybody and leave it at
So,
there.
okay, that's okay. So, you read something at the beginning of your journey that was really eye opening and profound for
Yeah.
you.
The book was called Behold the Pale Horse. Rest in peace to the author. His name was William H. Cooper. The first thing I when a book like this, first of all, is it even fictional or non-fictional? I found out it was non-fictional. So I'm like, you mean to tell me everything in this book is the truth? So some of the I'm not gonna say it on the show, but I'm just gonna say if you guys want to read that book, if you guys want a awakening and just like understanding of certain things in life and why it is the way it is, read the book Behold the Pale Horse by William H. Cooper. Really good book.
So, was there symbolism that was coming in through the book? Like, tell me like a little bit of how you started connecting the dots, because you grew up Catholic.
Hmm.
You are living in, a modern day society where, maybe in the neighborhood that you were living at the time, it was, a lot of like hip hop and, there was heavy influence, I feel like, from, celebrities and rappers and singers, and you touched a little bit upon the symbolism. So I'm curious if it was those things that helped you awaken, or if those things were planted and then kind of solidified as you were reading that book.
Um, yeah, yes and no. I'm gonna say yes. I mean, symbology is everywhere, but not everybody pays attention to it. Uh, Even if you don't pay attention to it, it's like you see it, it's planted into your subconscious mind. And maybe when you're like in your older age, you'll be like, wait a minute, I remember this symbol. It came out like that. But for me, the particular chapter that woke me up was chapter 12. And again, I'm not gonna get into too much detail, but it was just about saying about the human power and human consciousness and about who we are or where we came from and about the higher power When I say higher power, I'm talking about the creator, the God is within us. And it was never outside of that. That's the biggest thing that I got from that. And again, like, to expand on that, you have to just read the book. And but once I read that book, then I started going into other different things. It was like a rabbit hole. I was going in deep. Like after Behold the Pale Horse, I read um it was a 88-page essay. This guy's name was Robert Morning Sky, the Hopi Cherokee Indian guy. It was talking about the history of Earth and how the Earth was developed and how it was created and stuff like that. So it was just a lot of that information. I mean, it was a lot, and it just woke me up. It was just like, where was I couldn't believe, like, where have I been? Where have I been? Like, I've been lost for so long, but that right there put me right where I needed to be.
That's a good point to make because I think that when we figure out or when we start kind of going down these rabbit holes and figuring out where is it that we come from as the human species,
Mhm.
it can feel it can be scary, it can be exciting. It's so many different emotions all at once. But I know for me, I was like, shit,
Yeah.
I've been lied to
Yep.
on the deepest level.
Yeah, man. It's like
Like, how,
programming for real.
yeah. And like, how did I never question this stuff or even
Yeah.
think about it? It was just always programmed into us.
Yep. And people don't think that, you can't be programmed. I mean, your cell phones, your TVs, your ads that you see on poster boards, and I mean, all those things are some form of programming, and
Mhm.
it's just right there in your face. They don't have to say, look, it's right here, we're here to program you. What's that little swirly thing that, like, they use to try to, like, hypnotize?
Oh, yes.
No, they don't have to use none of that. It's they give you colors, music, and a product that maybe you might love, and that's it.
And you might not even love it, but then they'll make
Yeah.
you feel like you
They'll
love
make you
it.
feel like you love it,
Yeah,
exactly. And
because they're
repetition, repetition, repetition.
yes.
If you see that long enough, you'll end up liking it. It's programming. It's very real, much real.
We're being
Yep.
hypnotized through television, through commercials, through billboards,
Yep.
music.
Yep.
And it's really that simple. When you can create an emotion and then pair it with a picture and repeat it, like
Yeah.
what you just said, that's hypnosis.
Yeah.
That's programming. That's how we that's how we spend our whole lives.
Yeah. It's and again, like, just hearing you say that is just like, wow, you taking in the fact that this is what they do to program us.
Well, it is. I mean, there's studies on it. We call it marketing,
Yeah.
but that's really what marketing companies and trained professionals are they're doing what they're doing. They're hypnotizing us to want their
Mhm.
product or to feel a certain way about whatever they want, and we're very easily programmable. And that's the thing that I laugh about when people are like, and I hear it all the time, oh, I don't know if I can be hypnotized, I don't really think you can hypnotize me. And the first part is like, shouldn't we have had this conversation before you came into my
Yeah,
office?
right, right.
But that's okay, we're all human. But the second part is like, you probably went in and out of hypnotic states multiple times on your drive here,
Yeah, and you have no idea.
and you have no clue.
Um, when you say that too, it makes me think about autopilot.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
When
like,
we go on autopilot, your body takes over. And I truly believe your body is your subconscious mind,
mhm.
right? So you can use your mind to create certain physiological feelings or states in your body, but you can also do the same thing with your body.
That's interesting. Wow.
So
Yeah.
when people stand like Wonder Woman in the power pose, if you do that for 3 minutes, they've actually done studies on this where your cortisol level, your stress level drops and your testosterone rises. And
It's like a
so,
superior confident thing, I guess.
yes,
Wow.
it's essentially creating a state of confidence. And so I tell people, like, let's say they're going for a job interview or they're going on a date, before you leave, even if let's say you're on a job interview, if you have to go to the restroom and just stand in the stall for 3 minutes like this, you will nail that freaking interview.
So that's that. I guess that's the meaning of posture is everything.
Yes.
That's interesting. Huh.
Yes. Because you can, again, you can use the mind to create things in the body, but when you go at it from the opposite and you create a posture from the body, your mind has no choice but to follow
Wow.
because you've already started with the end result.
I think after the show, I'm gonna go in the bathroom and just do that posture. On the drive home, I'm just gonna do it. Just do it. Da, da, da,
Who needs 10
da.
and 2?
Superman. Like, no, for real. I had no idea. Do it without the cape.
Yes. Yes. Or even when you assume the position of surrender, right? I have somebody from a few years back that had severe anxiety speaking.
Mhm.
And so she really wanted to get out of the job that she was in. And so I told her, when you're at that table, I think now everything is pretty much on Zoom, but this is before COVID where you were, face to face with people. And I told her to just flip her palms up on her lap because even though they don't know what she's doing, and even if they could see her body, it's not really a big deal. They don't know why her palms are facing up, but your mind knows and it interprets it as a position of surrender.
Mm.
So just something as simple as palms up is calming your nervous system.
I had no idea.
Isn't that kind of cool?
Yeah, no, it's very cool. I mean, you give me some good insight, stuff like that. I need to do at work, you know?
Wonder Woman Moses.
All right, all right. I know today's world, but it's not Superman. I would do Superman, no Wonder Woman.
Superman. Make sure your cape
I think
flying
no, I
behind
think it's
you.
really cool though. I had no idea. Definitely had no idea.
But it's to your point that we're so powerful and we have been hypnotized or programmed to believe that all power exists outside of us.
Yep. And if you look from within, it's you are the black sheep, you are the you're the threat. I
Yes.
mean, back in the days, think about it. Like, if you were, if you didn't go with the church's rules and instead started going to do practices from within, it was witchcraft.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look into witchcraft, it's not really evil. It's more using your own mental power internally, but you're using your mental power and using the elements of the earth
Mm-hmm.
and mixing the two. And I feel like that's how you use for manifestation. So it's just like, what is wrong with that? Why is that you're using your own power? And they don't want that, They want you to give it into their spiritual leaders. And I'm not gonna, you know, I grew up in this, so I understand the significance, but I also understand that these spiritual teachers were also teaching that we too have our own power, not just give our power to them.
Right. Exactly. And a lot of what you grew up around in the Catholic Church is so fear based.
Yeah.
I could relate to that. Um, they make us so afraid. It's like they kind of install our own little judge and jurors into our own heads so
Hmm.
that we're policing ourselves.
Yeah. Consciousness, like the good and bad, right? The good guy and what is it? The good angel, the bad angel.
Yes, on your
Yeah.
shoulders.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so at the beginning of my awakening, right? So I was really trying to convert you to be a Jehovah's Witness
Oh my God, I'll never forget. I will
because I'm like,
never
this is my
ever
friend. I
forget.
love him so much. And he's so interested in spiritual things. And we would talk about the Bible for like hours.
I still have that. What is it? The One World Translation. That's what Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, the
Bible.
New
The
World.
New World Translation. Yes, I still have that book.
Isn't that an interesting choice on words? The
One.
New World
Yeah,
Translation,
exactly. Mm-hmm.
New
Mm-hmm.
World Order.
Yeah, it's just missing that O word. This is so funny.
But I remember, okay, so I was trying to convert you and you were opening up the Bible and showing me scriptures like God created the light and the dark.
Mhm.
And you were heavy into Leviticus.
Yeah. Okay, so as you know, like I come from the Haitian culture, and the book of Leviticus was, just a book of spells, and I guess that would be considered witchcraft. But it's just interesting that this is a holy Bible, but I'm able to see something that's considered witchcraft today, and it's against the religion. But you mean to tell me the ancient people were practicing this like there was nothing? So I didn't understand it. It was just a lot of contradiction, you know.
All forms of divination in
Hmm.
the book of Leviticus. And there's even scriptures, I don't know if it's in Leviticus, but that could potentially be interpreted as aliens. I mean, the whole account of Enoch being taken up,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
in the Bible.
yeah.
He was spared from death and he was just taken up.
Hmm. Hmm. I mean, yeah, they even give you the accounts of like some of the things that they left in, like, you know, chariots. It's weird, you know, chariots of smoke and fire. It just sounds like technology to me. It doesn't sound like what would be considered holy. I don't know. It's
Mm-mm.
just I'm just like I like it's sad that when some people are reading this, they'll get so fascinated about this, like, oh, somebody leaving and leaving Earth. But what's fascinating to me is people of that time speaking of technological things, like of that, like that wasn't of that time. That's what's fascinating for me. So yeah, you know, like that's definitely alien to me. And I think when you speak of angels in the Bible, even angels themselves are not even from this earth. So it's right there. It's always been there. You know, it's not a secret.
But we've had it interpreted for us.
Right, right.
So it has to be their interpretation, right?
Yeah. And their interpretation is always right. And if you question that, then you'd be casted out. You know, you would be the black sheep. I mean, I remember I used to do overnights in this old job. I'm not gonna say the name, but I used to do overnights, and the majority of them were Christian. They were all older than me, of course, and because I'm the youngest one there, I knew a lot, but they just wasn't trying to hear me. If I would bring anything that was beyond their understanding of what they believed in, it was just like, no, whoever told you this is lying to you. You need Jesus. We're gonna pray for you. And I would accept the prayers, but I was just trying to wake them up too, But I think on the overnight, I probably got to maybe one person, and that was good enough to me.
And when you say got to them, is it that you help them just find their own truth or
Yeah,
at least be on the path?
right,
Okay. Because I feel
exactly.
like that's an
Yeah,
important
words are
distinction.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah. Because, it's not about converting somebody to think like you. And I think that's what's really unique and beautiful about if you're really on a true, authentic spiritual journey, you're not trying to preach at people, convince them of anything. You just want them to kind of broaden their horizon
yeah.
to find their own truth inside of them,
Hmm.
not to adopt your truth.
Nope. Um, and the thing is, there's been some cases where the ones who didn't accept what I was trying to, teach at that time, they were they didn't accept it at the time, but years later they would call me and tell me, no, I really appreciate you for what you were trying to tell me before. I just didn't understand it, but now I do, and I really appreciate you for that. And that made me feel good, because again, I just don't want us to continue to live in this ignorance. I mean, you have some people that are religious, but they don't even believe there's anything beyond this earth, anything, no intelligent life beyond this existence.
Hmm.
I mean, that's got to be like downright ignorant, right? That's really just dumb. Like, yeah, how do you believe in this creator is so grand and so powerful, but you don't believe that this creator made anything past us?
So, to that, I would say, how can our parents or our elders teach us something that they were not taught?
Yeah.
And that's what I think is so unique about this time that we're living in right now, because you could choose to look at it as though this is the most effed up time in the world,
Hmm.
or you can choose to look at it like this is the most pivotal time
Yeah, I
in the
truly do
world.
believe that. I truly do believe that. But people might say, "Oh, our views are jaded because all the suffering that's been going on." Well, I'll just say to this: during
A
crisis
lot of
time,
suffering, yes.
there was a lot of suffering also. You know, Christ couldn't save everybody. It's just one man. One man can't save the whole world, but you know, we all can do our part. And I truly do believe that if we all did a little, you know, we can do a lot just if we all played a little. That's it.
Mhm.
You know,
Played, like,
played.
as in play? Like, bring play back into life?
Yeah. And as when you say that, like psychology of play, I remember taking that class. And that was like one of my first classes in college. Psychology of play. It just made you realize that certain activities that we do um makes it feel like play, such as reading a book, exercising, um, writing, and things like that. I remember at one point when I started writing and filmmaking, I will go hours, and the time will go by, and I'm just sun down, sun up.
You were in that flow state.
Yeah, and I was just
Mhm.
like, I had to stop because I got to go take a shower. No, for real, it's just like, you know. But yeah, you know, I think that if we all took a moment and see what what's the activities that we can do in our life that can benefit us in the long run, but it doesn't feel like work. It feels like
Yes.
all play.
Yes, that's what my uncle, I was just on the phone with him yesterday. He said, "You have to do a job and live a life where you don't even desire a vacation from it."
Yeah. Yeah. And filmmaking and photography is just that's one of those things, you know. Um you and I know how this world is and where everything is going. And sometimes I just don't want to be around it. How do I get away from that reality? For me, it's through going through the gym. If I don't want to go to the gym, then it's in writing. If I don't want to write, I'll take something that a project that I have, a script that I have, and I'll shoot it in a movie or something like that because
Mhm.
that's me creating a reality that's farther away from this reality.
Yes, and I think that the key to everything is creating,
Yeah.
because you would know more than me, but I feel like over the years we have lost, or at least whoever they is, I don't know who they is,
What do
but
you mean?
like, they used to make movies creatively, right? When I think of, like, I'm a big Michael Jackson fan. I love him.
We
Rest
all
in
love Michael
peace,
Jackson.
right? But he used to make every music video like a short film. And and he also recognized that when we repeat these words and these lyrics, it becomes a mantra. It goes into the subconscious. And I
Mhm.
don't want to veer off, but I just feel like over the years, you see now, even in movies, right? What are they making? It's all remakes of
Yeah.
old movies,
Mhm.
or live action of kids movies. It's like there's no new things being created. And we've kind of, over the years, at least, like, what has it been, like, just like maybe 10, 15 years or so,
Yeah.
where it's either a superhero movie or a remake.
Mhm. It's overly saturated. So what happens is, right, when Hollywood creates a movie and it does successful, you then create a franchise from that movie. So now you got a franchise, you got merch, you got you know, further funding for future projects. So now you really don't have to do much. Like you could literally stop doing anything for that particular franchise. 15, 20 years later, you do a recreate from that and you'll make not just your money back and some. So Hollywood, the execs, of course, I'm talking about, they don't care about creativity like that. They don't care. It's all about money. And I mean, what do we expect? This country is capitalistic, so of course, it's everything's a cash grab. So, yeah, I think that them doing that, it's hurting Hollywood, but it's also making the independent filmmaker rise. They don't
Mhm.
have no idea because we're no longer depending on them. I mean, our cameras are getting so much smaller, and you're still getting that quality Hollywood look on something that weighs 2 pounds, and you didn't even pay that much for it. All you have to do is get a decent script, decent camera, a decent crew, and you got a movie. That's it. It really doesn't take much, and you can create that low budget film, and somebody loves it so much that the people love it so much, you could probably make 70 mil off of that alone. And honestly, that's what it's showing the independent filmmakers. They
Very interesting.
yeah
I have to think more about that. I didn't think about that because that's beautiful
yeah
actually. I feel like there is a spiritual component to it in a sense though, because we're not like for people that don't watch independent films, it's like we're kind of essentially being told think within this perimeter, right? We only have these genres or these remakes, and I feel like there's such a lack of imagination,
yeah
and where there is a lack of imagination there is a lack of God within you,
yeah
because that's how we're designed to be creators, to
yep
create, and it's through our imagination.
yeah essentially, yeah. But you can't even tell these people that, because a lot of people don't even believe that they themselves are the creator. I mean, we create life. We create a life that we want for ourselves. We create uh our thoughts. So if you want a car, you think enough about that car, you will get that car.
Oh yeah,
And
we're wired for it.
yeah, but if we're wired for it, and people had still can't believe that, you know, I
Well, because
just
they tell themselves I'm not lucky or I have no luck or not, like they have their own inner dialogues, but we're literally wired for it in our own human brains,
right.
our neurology.
Mhm.
We have something called the reticular activating system, and it's exactly that, just being wired for something. So if I go out and get a red Jeep or I think about a red Jeep, suddenly I'm going to see red Jeeps everywhere,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's how I've manifested a couple things in my life. Think about it hard enough, and all of a sudden I just start to see it everywhere. And then before I know it, I have it. Like one of my cameras, I'm gonna say it's a Netflix approved camera. It's a Sony FX9. Not to get too technological, but the Sony FX9, I have it, a picture of it hanging up on my wall. This is before I got the camera. I put a picture of a wad of cash, a picture of that camera, put a picture of the house. I'm gonna say I got 2 out of 3. So, which is, I started getting a lot of money because I got into the industry, and I started like working a lot of like Hollywood jobs, and I started making a lot of money from that. And then I also ended up getting the Sony FX9. But I didn't really notice that. Wait a minute, I put this picture up as my vision board, and all of a sudden I got this. I didn't think about that. I forgot. You know how you just do certain things and then you just forget about it. And then to still like, I just couldn't believe like, oh wow, I forgot. Like I did this 2 years ago, and then 2 years later, I got the camera and I got a whole bunch of money.
Yeah. Because the universe has no choice but to comply.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The universe needs to comply and give me more money now, because this film industry, I don't know what's been going on, but yeah,
Well, that last thing, that third thing, I will say, tell yourself it's on the way.
yeah,
It's on the way, just like the other two. Because when you accept one suggestion, this is hypnosis 101. When you can accept one suggestion, the next suggestion will just be accepted.
got
So if
you.
I was to say to you, as sure as the sun rises every morning, you will get that third thing on your list. How does it feel to hear that?
It makes me feel confident.
Right?
I feel warm inside and
Yes.
tingly inside.
Because you know that the sun's going to rise every morning,
Yeah.
right? So you're
Mhm.
accepting the first suggestion. Now, when I follow it up with that third thing is on its way, I don't even remember what the third thing is,
Mhm.
but it creates a picture and an emotion in you.
No, yeah, you're right. I need to say that to myself. A lot of things. I mean, I appreciate this interview because of sometimes, like I do know, but life experiences, things happen in life. Sometimes you just forget your way, and I need to be redirected.
We've all we've all been there, myself included.
Yeah.
And I think it's part of the human experience.
Yeah. It's a gift and a curse, right?
Well,
Nah,
I'll
but I
focus
mean,
on the gift part.
no, I mean it's yeah, you're right. Focus on the gift part. I've been to hell and back, but I won't regret none of it because the hell part made me who I am. And now
Hmm.
I'm living in my own heaven. And it's interesting to say that, like, I'm living in my own heaven, but I'm still not where I want to be financially.
Well,
You know
you're
what I
also a
mean? But I'm happy.
Taurus,
What?
and you're also a Taurus,
What does
and
that mean?
Taurus always they want the foundation, the money, the stability. Like Taurus
That's the
energy
grounded.
is
Yeah, we're
yes,
very much root. We have to be
yes,
stable.
and you have to have all of those
Yeah,
things.
that's what makes us a little bit superficial, I guess. Yeah, but I don't want. I want it. Why not?
You're worthy of it.
Yeah.
You're allowed to want it.
Hmm.
So I have to mention one more thing because
Yeah.
it's just so crazy, right? So when you're on this path, anyone listening to this, you start to see synchronicities, right? The 1111s, 222,
I was seeing nine,
nine.
nine. I was seeing a lot of nine, nine, nine everywhere.
Nine is completion. Like we're in
Yeah.
a 9 year collectively, which is why it's like such a shit show, I feel like, out there, because
Mm,
we're ending cycles. But nine is the energy of completion, or even like releasing things that don't serve you because you're getting ready for the next year, which would then be the beginning, which is a one, like a fresh start, a new beginning.
that means the house
So
is coming. That means it's
the
coming. It's
house
on
is
the
on
way.
its
It's
way.
on its
Of
way for
course it
sure.
is.
For sure.
But think about this as a synchronicity, and
Mm-hmm,
shout out to your wife Sasha, who I love so much.
mm-hmm.
We lost contact, you and I, for a year for no reason in
Damn,
particular.
was it only a year? I
It
felt
was
like it was a
only, I
couple of years.
think it was a couple
I guess it's.
years,
I guess it's. I guess 1 year without.
maybe a little more than a year.
Mm-hmm,
But in that 1 year, we're going to call it, we both had babies,
mm-hmm.
baby girls, born in August 2012, and we named them
Naya.
Naya.
Yeah, man. What is the odds? Like,
What are the odds
it's
of
so
that?
weird. That was so weird. I was just like, how does that even happen?
And we both had partners at the time who also agreed to that name, and so we have kids that have the same name, they're the same age, they're both a little on the nerdy side,
Awkward.
but in the
They're
good
both
way.
awkward
That's
and
okay,
nerdy. Yeah,
they're good
they're good
girls,
kids. Yeah, no, they're
both of
definitely
them.
good kids.
And they both have the name Naya. I mean, if that is not a confirmation that we're meant to be in each other's lives forever, I don't know
Right,
what is.
right. Oh, and who was the one that reconnected us? I forget her name.
Lexi.
Lexi. There you go.
And I think now she
God
lives
bless you,
in,
Lexi.
I don't know that she would ever be listening to this. I lost touch with her too, but I
Oh,
miss her.
really? I think
She
she still follows me on the gram. I
she's
think
out
so.
in California.
Yeah, last time I checked, she was doing. I don't know if she was doing environmental work or something
She
like that.
joined, I want to say it was something like the Peace Corps
No, I was just gonna
and
say like Peace Corps, but
something like that. Yeah,
okay.
where she was like helping to build schools or like bring clean water to certain um communities, and she was doing a lot of
God bless
things.
her. God
Yeah.
bless her. That's good. That's great. Yeah, but nah, but I mean, and the thing is about the spiritual journey is it's never ending. You're constantly elevating, you're constantly evolving. Um, if you feel stuck, then it's up to you to get out of that position. Um, we're not meant to sit still. We're just not. We're always meant to elevate and do the best that you could do.
Give yourself grace where you need grace.
Yeah.
Let yourself be human at times, but keep striving for growth.
Always, always. And that's just me. Sometimes I just like I get frustrated. I find myself getting frustrated when things don't go my way. But then I have to find that common ground where I say to myself, it's just not now. It's just not now, Mo. It's fine. Like this is all temporary. It's all temporary. It's not forever. You're not where you used to be.
Oh my
That's what I
God,
could
no,
say.
you're
I'm not
not.
where I used to be.
But you
And I have
have
to
to
be
get that
grateful.
acceptance before you can take the next step forward, I feel like, as a human being.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we get very hard on ourselves.
Yeah, that's me. And I could definitely say I'm hard on myself because um I mean we're getting older. My kids is getting older. So it's just like I just want to be the best that I can be for them. Um, I don't want them to be without. I always said that because I know that for a fact that once we die, it's not it. Like I
Hmm.
know that for a fact. But my biggest fear for me is failure. That's my biggest fear, to not be able to provide, not be able to leave something for my kids before I leave the earth, not being able to, make them happy. You know, like I want to give them the world if I could. Of course, I understand that our children truly do have to work and fall on their face also to learn about who they are. But I also want to be able to give them as much as I can to help them along the way, because I didn't have that growing up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, individually, we've broken a lot of cycles,
Yeah,
Mo. Like when you look back, you've broken a ton of cycles.
yeah.
Were you the first generation that was born in United States?
um
Was your mom born in Haiti?
yeah,
And your dad too,
yeah, yeah,
obviously, because he
for
has a
sure.
thick accent.
Yo,
I
for
love your
sure, my
dad.
dad my dad definitely has
No
a
expression on his face ever, but every
no,
once in a while he'll
no,
hit me
yo.
with a smile.
Nah, no, you're right. That's funny, yo. That is funny.
But your mom, I always loved her.
Yeah.
And I think I was one of the few that she loved in return. So
Yeah, for sure.
I
She
took
didn't. My
that to
mom did
heart.
not like too many people.
You
Uh,
broke a lot of
yeah,
cycles.
yeah, and I'm grateful for it. But again, when you breaking cycles like this, it's think about the psychology that think about that psychology. Think about that, like what's going on mentally.
Turmoil,
Yeah.
all kinds of suffering created from inside of you, outside
Yes.
of you. You're being
Yes.
met with all of this pressure or
Yes.
rejection or
Yes.
expectation,
Everything. All of that.
everything all at once, heavy emotions.
and and you're always trying to prove everybody wrong. You ever notice that? Like you
I
can't
do.
give that up. You can't give up, because then you'll be proving everybody right. You're just like everybody in the family. All y'all fuck ups. And I'm sitting here just trying not to prove them right.
So here's the thing that I hear is that we are wired to move away from pain and towards pleasure, right? That's
Hmm.
kind of the definition of addiction.
Hmm.
But it's stronger for us to move away from pain and towards pleasure than it is for us to move towards pleasure and away from pain.
Yeah.
The
Damn.
pain has a stronger emotion.
Yeah.
So for those of us that are cycle breakers, I feel like as fucked up as a feeling that it really is to go through it, that creates the most drive in a human being, I think, than anything else.
Yeah. I mean, the saying, it's not what you've been through, but how you deal with it.
Mm.
It's the truth. A lot of people went through a lot of things, and some worse than others, but the ones that make it through, they become the powerful people.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know they build a strong backbone. I mean, it could be a lifetime of therapy, but
Well, think
but
about
they
like the
become.
fighters, like boxers, UFC fighters. Um, I don't know, like people that have so much discipline and go so far and they just don't quit. They've been through some shit.
Yeah, yeah, and we don't talk about that enough. I feel like we don't unpack that enough, because I feel like when somebody is so successful, everybody not only looks at them like almost like they're God, but they also, a part of them looks at them like, oh, he or she looks he or she thinks they're better than us because they're up here and we're down here.
Mm-hmm.
And or oh, how did they get up here? They couldn't do it the hard way. They didn't work hard for it. They sold themselves to the Illuminati or type thing. I'm like, you have no idea the hard work, like the sleepless nights that person was going through. It's just like me. Like nobody has any idea the sleepless nights I'd be having sometimes with some of the things that I've created. And when I get there, people are gonna probably say, "Oh yeah, he sold his soul. He sold his soul to the devil. That's why his mother died, or something like that." People are just weird, man. It's just
Well, because
nobody believes in that.
And also, if you're not willing to put in the work, then you want to kind of knock everyone else
Yep.
down so
Yep.
that you feel a little bit better about
It's a
yourself.
reflection. It's a reflection of your failure. And I hate that people project that, you know, but a part of me feels sorry for that. It's to that person. It's like, how do we help them harness their own potential? Because me too, I had to tell to myself that I have potential. I have potential. Like, it wasn't just me writing this down. It wasn't just finding that. It was me like doing a whole ritual, lighting incense, meditation, going to the shower, ritually saying that I have potential. I have potential. That I know there's more to me that I could see. Like, I just haven't found it yet, you know. And it wasn't until somebody says you should be doing photography. Why? Like, you're good at this. Why don't you go to school for photography instead of nursing? It's okay not to be a nurse, you know. And that was the light. It was like, wait a minute, I don't have to be a nurse. I could get into this. So I got into photography. Photography opened up the door for filmmaking. And then when I got into filmmaking, it was literally the same language from photography, but converted into film.
But see, what you made everything mean along the way is what gave you the, let's say, like the will to pull that trigger.
Mhm.
Because at the time that you made that switch mode, just from an outsider's perspective, right? You were already what, in your early 20s, right? So a lot of people will say, well, I've already, spent this much time and energy and money going towards this path. You totally pivoted, which for a lot of people is scary as hell. And
Yeah.
you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
There's people outside of you that want this for
The
you.
naysayers.
Yes, but you I feel like held on to your mission even though you didn't totally know what it was. You're a healer. Even though you might not be doing Reiki or, you're attuned to it,
Yeah.
but you heal through your creative projects, through your films, right? Through everything that you create. And that's the way that you heal. And
Yeah.
there's messages in all of your
Yeah.
films.
And that's, I had to realize that that was the power of me getting into filmmaking, was
Hmm.
to help heal through this visual medium, you know. And again, I just told you earlier, with great power comes great responsibilities. And I feel like I have a responsibility to steer people in the right direction, not into a direction of damnation or of evil things and things like that. That's just, it's not in my nature, you know. Like, granted, I like, my favorite genre is horror and slasher movies and things like that. But will you see those things in the future for me? Maybe, but there's always going to be a message into that,
Hmm.
you know. And I'll try to make it as powerful as possible.
So they say that in order to really transform your life, you have to shift your identity. You have to shift the way that you perceive yourself. Would you say that that's true for you?
Repeat that again. I just want to make sure I heard that
So
correctly.
before we were mentioning like these top people, right? People that make it to the top.
Yeah.
They have to change the way that they perceive themselves.
Yeah.
Because if they look back at their past, they were poor, they were skinny, scrawny, weak, they had this, they had, they didn't have this, they didn't have that. But they were able to somehow change their perception of themselves in order to make it to the top.
One thing I've noticed about a lot of these people that became successful is that they actually appreciated their struggles, because again, the struggle is what builds their character. And I didn't, I think my problem was not seeing that. I think I wanted to see the end instead of just actually appreciating the journey of the struggle. And I think that when we learn how to appreciate the journey of the struggle, then we can truly move on. Then we could truly move forward and become successful. But when I study people like Will Smith, how Martin Scorsese, some of the most successful people like actors and filmmakers, a lot of them do appreciate the struggle. You know, like, yeah, some of them were homeless and things like that, but even then, they seen a blessing in that.
And do you see the blessing in your journey?
Yeah, absolutely. I
Can you
mean,
see why? Do you believe that you chose all of your experiences, all of the major ones?
I've heard that before, but I don't know. I guess. Yeah.
I believe that before we're born, we all have these soul contracts.
Yeah.
And so we have these big mission kind of things that we have to experience in life, but the way that we reach those points is determined by our own free will. So if that was true and you could look back on your life experience, could you kind of see how or why you would have chosen some things and how they kind of
Yeah. When
helped
you,
make you?
yeah. I mean, maybe you could kind of explain it to me because when you say that, I'm thinking about it. I didn't I didn't see that for photography or for filmmaking. Is that what you're saying? Like when it comes to like me being who I am today, is that what you're
Mhm.
saying? All right. Growing up, I'm just gonna say this off. I'm not gonna say from where I used to do this, but when I was younger, I had a little bit of a hot hand. I love to steal. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
the thing is, I wasn't stealing food, I wasn't stealing money or things like that. I just had a fascination with cameras. So this is me like maybe at like 10 or 12 years old
The
going,
throwaway cameras.
yeah, those disposable
Yeah.
cameras. So I would just go in there and steal like a whole bunch of those, and I would just take them home, take a whole bunch of pictures, and then I would expose the film to sunlight. And when I was exposing the film to sunlight, I would actually see the pictures in between the perforations of the film. Just that alone just made me geeked out. I don't know why. It did nothing at the moment, but it just made me feel happy. But I didn't think as I gotten older, I would become more obsessed with taking pictures and shooting film and things like that. Because when I used to go to garage sales with my mother, I would always look for the Polaroids. Those the ones I used to print out the
Yeah.
moment you take a picture.
You have to
I would
shake it.
always look for those, always. But I always had an obsession with cameras. And when I gotten older, my mom kind of got me out of that phase, go to school, study, become a nurse or a doctor. You know how Haitians are. So
Well, because I feel like also you were first generation, so they
yeah,
wanted more for you. They wanted you to be educated and
exactly.
all of that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of let it go. But I still held on to it because I would go window shopping for like cameras and stuff like that, but I would never buy them because they were expensive. But as I gotten a little older and I was able to afford things, that's when I started investing in the cameras. But it was like, cheap cameras, just taking pictures, cool pics type thing. I didn't I think as I gotten after college, that's when I started getting more into all right, I want to get more detailed cameras, the ones that are more expensive, you know.
Mm-hmm. So going from a little kid stealing a Polaroid camera or one of those disposable throwaway cameras,
Mhm.
can you see why you would have chosen that experience today when you look back? Like, does it make you appreciate the value of it more?
Yeah, I mean, that alone made me see that maybe that like I was gonna be, I am good. I am a filmmaker. I'm a photographer today. Like I wouldn't take that back for anything because if that didn't happen, I would have probably been lost. I would have probably been like, who am I? What am I? What's my purpose here? You know, because I know it's got to be more than just paying bills and dying. You know what I mean? There's
Mhm.
got to be more to life than this. Like, look at how we are wired, how we think the way we think. We can create our own thoughts without even saying it. Like that's got to be something. It's got to mean something.
We are so powerful, and this kind of brings us full circle to how we kind of open the conversation.
Hmm.
But quantum physics now shows that just the act of us observing something creates a new something.
Yeah,
And so we can't even get to like the finish line of the smallest part of the cell because just us looking at it creates an even smaller piece.
just us observing that.
Just us observing.
Yeah,
We're creating through observing.
I've heard in some experiments that we can't even observe because if you observe, it'll change the results.
Yes, it
That's
does.
so that's
So they had
crazy.
to stop. Yeah, they
Yeah,
had to
that's
stop
crazy.
us and just say, okay, this is the smallest part of the cell. But in reality, if we keep observing it, we're going to keep discovering more and more and more and more.
So it makes me think about the creator watching human and how we evolve. If we knew that the creator was watching, would we change? Would we behave? So the creator says, you know what? I'm just gonna leave them alone. They can't know that I'm here. They can't see that I'm watching them.
What if the creator was watching us through our own eyes?
Mm, that is crazy. There's no hiding, right? There's no. I'm thinking about all types of weird sessions
I mean,
and stuff.
what if it's us? You know,
Yeah,
what
no,
if
I know.
it's
I hear what you're
us that
saying.
is fragmented pieces
Of the creator.
of the creator?
Yeah. No, I could definitely believe
You
that.
know, you're the one who pointed out to me who is that voice in your head and who's
Yeah,
the one listening to it.
it's true. You know those, but it's interesting that some scientists are saying that not everybody has the inner monologue.
Yeah, but I feel like then those
That's like
people can't have a soul. How do
that's
you
why
have a
that's
soul?
exactly how I feel.
It's
If you don't have that, you are just a psychopath. You're a freaking murderer. Like it's weird. I truly do believe that you should have that. Like that's what makes you you. Like that's your soul speaking. That inner voice is your soul
I
speaking.
think the one observing the inner voice is the soul.
The one observing.
Mm-hmm.
Explain on that.
So if I'm having the thought, ooh, that candle smells really good. There's the candle.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, my soul is not the one thinking about the smell of the candle or even smelling the candle.
Okay.
My soul is the one that just observed that, is
Ah.
aware of the fact that I just had that thought and smelled that smell.
Mm. Illuminati's coming after
Oh,
us.
that's not true.
Illuminati is coming after us after this episode. No, but this is what I truly do believe, that as human beings, this is what we're meant to do, to observe, to study, and to just to learn more, because knowledge is so vast. It's always expanding. It's infinite, and I feel like we're just always supposed to be learning that and always evolving from that. You know, all this stuff is interesting, but we're so distracted. We're
Oh,
distracted
yes.
by everything, so it's just like we just don't have the time. Even me, like I'm interested in all this stuff, but I don't always have the time to study this. It's just the world doesn't allow me to have the time. I have kids, I have work, bills got to get paid. That's why I'm hoping the filmmaking will allow me to have more time to study who I am,
Mm.
because I truly do believe, even when I feel like I know who I am now, no, there's more.
Then you're going to change.
What do you mean?
Then you're going to evolve, and then you have to learn who that is.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, even when I'm satisfied, I'm not satisfied. Like when it comes to knowledge, you should never ever be full. You should always be quenching for more.
I agree.
And I think that there's not enough minds that are out there. Like I think that when it comes to light, it's so dim. A lot of people's lights are so dimmed down because of their life experiences, the world around them. I mean, these people have such a hold on us and our conscious, that we just don't even care to even find out who we are.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
unfortunately, it's an infrastructure that's been
Yep.
put in play.
Tell these people, tell the people.
I hesitate when it comes to uh, because okay, so I hesitate because it's been written off as conspiracy.
Mhm.
And while there are definitely conspiracies that are so false and so far fetched and ridiculous, there are a lot that are very true. And we just, and this is just my own, I don't want to preach to anyone, but what I will say is don't accept truth just because you've been told that it's true. Don't accept fact just because it's been implied that it is a fact.
The Hermetic principle says that everything is only half true.
And the Hermetic principles have so many layers of truth to them.
So many, so many. And it's just like one thing I notice about truth, there's always gonna be people that's gonna say it's a conspiracy. Even
Mhm.
in the even in what was it? I just said it.
The Hermetic
The Hermetic
principles.
principles. They try to debunk that and try to say that that was all false.
Oh no.
I'm like, come on, man.
People dedicate their whole lives
Yeah,
to
man.
studying these laws. You know, the law of polarity,
Yeah.
the law of gender, the law of oh my gosh, if I
Core.
cause and effect,
Mm-hmm.
which is karma. I mean, you can go on and on, just the law of vibration, the law
Man, I
the
love
law of
law of vibration.
attraction.
And I mean, do you know that those are basically talking about the chakras? Would you believe that?
Vibration.
No, just those universal those principles, the hermetic principles, is just pretty much talking about the uh the chakras.
Oh, I believe it. I didn't
Yeah,
know that
like
for.
like the gender. That's
Well,
the
even
root.
the feminine energy versus masculine energy
Mm-hmm.
and what is what. And it's just when you deep dive into these principles, you can literally spend your entire lifetime
Yep.
just
Yep.
in these principles. But everything goes back to, going within. And that's how I feel. Because I don't want to say, oh, look up this conspiracy theory or look up this, because I will go down rabbit holes. But the truth is that the truth is inside of you.
Yeah.
Right. So if something doesn't feel right, you know, I'm a big one on, when I watch television, like only over the past few years have I ever watched the debates, but you could see how trained these people are. Like I'm going to bring up Obama back in the day. I remember as a teenager thinking, wow, this is the first politician that made me feel proud to be an American, right? And so it's because there is training involved and the
Yep.
art of persuasion involved, right? And I'm not going to say anything more about politics, but they know how to control our emotions. And so they know how to own us. And now we're operating from a system that is outside of us and calling people good people or bad people when we don't even know these people.
Mm-hmm. Wait, you're a Democrat, you're a bad person. Wait, you're a Republican, you're a bad person. You're a liberal, you're a bad, you libtard. You're a conservative, you're a bad, very bad, racist, bigot. I'm like, come on, man. It's just it's all to me, it's all made to divide you, and a lot of people are giving into it. And it's very frustrating to tell people that you're not even seeing that they really created a divide, and it's exhausting. So you just just keep it to myself. I have my own village of friends and family, and that's it. I don't need anything else outside of it, because it's just exhausting, to explain to these people that you don't even see how programmed you that you are.
Because you're caught in emotion. And I've
Yeah.
been there. I've been caught in emotion where I can't see that there's, 25 doors all around me and I could just walk through one. But when you're caught in emotion, you can't see that. You're
No.
too zoomed in. And so I guess that's what I would say about that, is that, you know, the answers to everything is inside of you. I see a lot of people for coaching, right? So they come to me with this problem or that problem, or they want to, heal this and move towards this goal. And the reality is that all we're doing is deconditioning what has been programmed into them. And then the truth is inside of them. There's nothing I can
Yeah.
tell anyone that's more powerful than them finding their own truth inside of them.
Mhm.
And that's my only job, is to walk you back to that piece.
Essentially, it's like deprogramming them from one system, but reprogramming them so that way they can think for themselves.
Yes, to reconnect the mind and the body,
Yeah.
to learn how to make a decision for yourself,
Yeah.
right? To stop creating the same experiences because you didn't get the lesson when you were 5. Well, how could you get the lesson when you're 5?
Mhm.
You can't. So you're beating yourself up for the next 40 years.
I
No.
think that's part of the reasons why we continue to reincarnate. Um, because we haven't done the work.
We haven't learned the lesson.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
haven't learned the
So we
lesson.
choose to come back to
Yeah,
learn that lesson. And I really think that it all boils down to love and acceptance within our own selves. Right? If we're here to learn the lesson of loss or rejection or whatever the painful lesson is, we have to learn how to accept that in ourselves.
yeah, it's true. It's true. I think honestly, you know me already, Jenna. Like, I want to know more about like incarnation. Like, you know, I've studied things that and where they said that when you see that light at the end of the tunnel, you're not even supposed to go through that. Like they this it's so crazy. Like basically, you're going through that light of that tunnel and you end up reincarnating, but forgetting who you were from the last person that you were.
The veil goes over your eyes
Yeah,
when you're born.
again,
Yeah.
yeah, and
I
it's just
mean,
like,
I think go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, I'll listen.
I think there's a lot of answers in the Hindu religion, which is the oldest known religion. But I
Was the
feel like
Popol Vuh or something like that?
that you're stuck in this karmic cycle. And I go back and forth with that of like, because then that means like we're caught up in a wheel of kind of like soul slavery.
Yep. And
And
these
that
are
doesn't feel good for
no,
me.
and this is what these individuals, these group of higher intelligent beings, they created that system for us because if they didn't, then we would become as them, powerful, all knowing, just like them. We are like them, but we just don't know that.
We don't have the awareness.
No, we don't. I mean, you tell somebody that you're more than who you are. You literally are genetically bloodline connected to these intelligent people.
Yes. So here's what I will say, because you can look it up, Google it, look it up, do your own research here. But um, we have been genetically altered.
Hmm.
I think it's millions of years ago.
Yeah.
I'm a student of Greg Braden. He's one of my favorite spiritual teachers. He's actually a geologist,
Hmm.
and he went around to all of these different indigenous civilizations. He even brought people on tours with them. And so he really digs into the science of it. But what I learned from his work is that we go back way further than science says we do.
Yeah.
And that, and I'm going to veer off for just a second, but even in the first verse of the Bible where it says, and God said, let us make man in our image.
Hmm.
If you look up the original language, then God, that's actually a plural. That's Elohim, and and there's different ways and different versions of the word Elohim, but that particular version of that word Elohim is a plural.
Hmm.
So
So it's multiple
it
gods.
actually should say, and then the gods said,
Hmm.
let us make man in our image.
Yeah.
So first verse of the Bible, we've already been lied to.
Hmm.
Okay. Second thing is going back to Greg Braden's work, is that he points out that two of the human chromosomes, chromosome number 2 and number 7, have been tampered with. They have been spliced and fused back together. And it's been proven that that could never happen through evolution. This was by design,
Engineer, like this is,
engineered
yeah, like
millions of
somebody.
years ago
Hmm.
by beings that had technology to
Yep.
not only be
To
aware that we
jump,
have
to jump
DNA.
us, to
Yes.
jump us in evolution.
Yes.
But I mean, in a lot of the things that I've read, I mean, I think there's enough proof to show that it wasn't like they were, oh, they seen us, oh, let's just give them help. No, they created us as a slave race. They wanted us to do a job for them. But after that job was done, they were like, like, what are we gonna do with them? Like, they're already here, they already exist, they already have awareness of who they are. Let's just give them more things of what they need to help them evolve. Let's just help them. And that's how it was. And that's why we're still here.
So if you're someone listening to this right now and you think we're totally nuts, I totally thought I was nuts when I first started looking
Yeah,
into this
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But look into the Sumerian tablets, look into the book of Enoch, look into Behold the Pale Horse,
Hmm.
and if it doesn't
It's all there.
align with you, if it doesn't resonate, leave it. You don't have to, fight or argue or fight to believe something, but if
You are
it's
choosing ignorance. I'm just letting you know that. I hate to say it, but you are
sometimes
choosing
though,
ignorance.
but sometimes we're just not we're not ready for that, or
Yeah.
that's not, it's not the time for that. I remember looking back and being in high school when the internet kind of first came out, and I used to look into all of these Sanskrit tattoos. Now, why was I looking for tattoos when I was a Jehovah's Witness and I had no I had no intention of getting a tattoo, let alone Sanskrit.
Mhm.
I don't know, but I think back and I remember that as part of my teenage years. And so
Interesting.
it was like there, but I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah,
Maybe I should get a Sanskrit tattoo.
you should. Why not? I don't have no tattoos. I'm good. No, I don't want no
But
tattoos.
I don't want to call anyone ignorant because, or that you're choosing ignorant, let's say, because everything has been divinely timed out for you anyway by your higher self. I truly believe that. So if this is not resonating with you, then there's a reason, but take it as I guess an opportunity to look and see if it's for you one day.
I pray that you guys make the right decision.
And I guess if
Um,
you've heard of this stuff, please comment on this because I'm curious who's listening and
yeah,
what kind of viewers and listeners are interested in these topics.
yeah. I think that your show, like, it touches on, not just ancient knowledge, but if you could just if you could combine the two of ancient knowledge to just spirituality, everything just starts to make sense. Everything starts to make sense. And that's exactly what I did. And it just made sense. Everything started to make sense because, growing up, I had so much questions, but the church just would not allow you to question certain things. It's just they're just going to regurgitate.
Well, they're looking for obedience.
Yeah,
So if you're a questioner, you're not really for them.
no, you're definitely not.
And I will
And
say, when I went to the Vatican, Mo,
yeah,
talk about dark energy.
yeah, those guys are into some wicked stuff. Wicked stuff. I don't even think it's even human. I'm gonna be honest with you. Also, on top of that, I want to go to one of their libraries. I heard they have a library underneath the actual church that's like 2 football fields long
They
of just
also have
all ancient.
tombs.
Like,
I walk through some of the tombs, and there is dark
what do you mean you
energy
walk
under
through some
there.
of the tombs?
They let you walk when you go into the Vatican and what is it, St. Peter's Cathedral, I think. Um, you go underground
Okay.
and you pass all of these tombs. So supposedly the Apostle Peter is buried
Yeah, I've
there
heard that.
in a tomb.
Is that what the whole Da Vinci Code was about? Them finding the Peters? Oh,
Oh gosh, I don't know. It's been a long
okay.
time since I've
Yeah.
seen that.
Go ahead.
It was just dark energy. I remember looking around I wanted to find something relative to Mary Magdalene, and there was nothing. Um, it was just very cold and barren, and I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah. Them guys, like I said, those guys, they practice some wicked stuff, but they took a lot of our ancient ancestors' stuff and they just keep all that stuff down there. All the tablets, anything. And I mean, imagine you could just take the original form of their ancient tablets and just say, create a replica and say this is what we found on it.
Oh
Meanwhile, the
yeah.
real thing, they have the real thing with the original story.
His
It's insane.
story,
Yeah, his
history.
story exactly. It's insane, But again, nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to believe that. I think that we've chose comfort. We just choose comfort. And if I was still caught into that whole, I just let me work 9 to 5 and let me live my life. I don't want to hear anything about this stuff. If I was like that, I too would be like, you know what? I don't want to hear what you have to say. But like you said, everybody has a timestamp on when it's their time. I just hope that is this lifetime and not have to wait another lifetime.
I believe it is. That's my personal belief because there's things that have happened just in our lifetime alone that I would have never, ever, ever imagined. I mean, look at how the whole world shut down a few years ago.
Yeah.
Look at how all of these people now are on some sort of religious, spiritual journey. There's been just so many pivotal things that have happened, I feel like, in our lifetime alone. And we're considered what? Are you, I always get like offended, and I shouldn't,
Wow.
when they call me a millennial. But I think you're a millennial too, right?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
like the senior millennials.
Oh my God. Senior millennials.
Because I have memories of
Ah.
back in the day, big TVs on the ground with the big bunny ear antennas,
Yeah.
like I remember times before cell phones, before
The big back
AOL dial up.
TVs,
Yes.
DVD players, Blu-rays.
Yes. VHSs,
Yeah.
Nintendo,
Yeah, good times. Good times.
Sega. Remember Sega?
Oh my god, good times. I
Yes.
mean, like, and I appreciate all of that, but and man, you really did take it back. And it's like, what do you do with that? How do you keep those memories alive? That's why when it comes to this filmmaking thing, there's a certain style of how they tell cinema. They It's not like that no more. It's just everything's a cash grab. And I feel like
Yes.
I still have that old way of telling that style of cinema. And
And
that's what I want to bring back to the screen.
I think that's what's needed because that inspires, let's say, a kid or even an adult. Somebody watching that is inspired to then step into their creator selves.
Yeah.
Even if they're not necessarily, doing a film, it inspire. Like think about back in the day when we would watch movies as kids, we would go outside on the playground and play those games, like
Yeah.
reenact them as kids, right?
Yeah. Like me after watching a karate flick. I think I know karate right after.
Yes. All of a sudden you're Ralph
Yeah,
Macchio.
what? It's too real.
But it's
No,
true.
it's true, man.
Real creativity inspires us to create.
To create more. So that makes sense to why they wouldn't want us to to create. Because like I'm starting to realize like AI, they want AI to create everything. Like, and I'm not just talking about like when we use AI like Chat GPT, we're using it to look up something, but we're
Mhm.
not using it to create something for us.
There are
There's no
people that
soul
do.
in the AI. There's no soul in AI. So how is it that you're using AI to write scripts? You're using AI to 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 write a whole financial plan. Is this you could financial plan is one thing, but it's when it comes to like creativity that needs soul, you're just not going to get that from AI. But people are forcing that now
Mm.
from AI, and that is like, man, we really are going downhill. That's why I truly do believe cinema is dead.
Well, that's what Greg Braden talks a lot about is AI and that through all of this artificial intelligence, yes, there is room for it and it can help us evolve, but it can also take our creativity,
Yeah,
which is our humanness.
yeah, it is, and I truly do believe that it is, and it's going to because um that's the lazy part. Like we're always going to take convenience just over creativity. Like it's sad, like if you know you can do something 10 times fast, then you're always going to go with that because then after that you could just relax, you could just chill. But I feel like then it takes away the grit, it takes away the purpose, it takes away the soul of you putting that certain quality of work into that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So if I'm asking AI for like let's say to write a script, in that script there's not going to be any soul into that.
Right.
They're
And
just
so it
not.
won't resonate with
It
people the
won't.
way it
Yeah.
would as if it came from your brain
Exactly.
and your
Exactly.
creativity.
Exactly. So because
Mhm.
when we write stories, I'm just gonna say, because in a sense, it's like life. When we're writing a story, what's gonna get people to watch that particular medium is something that's emotion. Like something that's emotional has to happen. It has to pull the heartstrings of people to make them relate to that. If I don't give them that, then they won't relate. Then I won't be able to keep their attention on that screen. So it's you have to create something that everybody can feel.
Yes.
That's why I notice in movies like they'll create a character and then we'll fall in love with that character and see them going through the worst of the worst, and all of a sudden they get killed.
That devastates me.
Yeah, and it's like,
I
yo,
like
you guys
happy
are
endings.
bastards.
Yes.
Like bastards. But that's how it is in life.
I don't like those movies. I grew
Yeah.
up on Disney and I want the happily ever
I
after.
know. We all do. And then that's what sucks about growing up. When we realize that the whole happily ever after thing is just a story. It's a movie. It's not real. It's not true.
I reject that. I
It
reject that.
sucks, but that's just what it is. And that's why I love about filmmaking. You know, you can create those things. Like, yeah, like your character went through this, that, and the third, and they went through good, the bad, the ugly. But you could either make them walk and have a happy life, or you can make them die. But the lesson is still there. The lesson is when you see that character die, the lesson is don't take life for granted. While you're on this earth, learn from this. You know what I'm saying? So now you see them going through the good, the bad, and the ugly, but you've seen what the character learned from that.
Mm.
And that lesson from what that character learned, you're supposed to learn from that also and apply that to your life. And that's why I love about like movies. You know, today it's just you're not gonna get that. It's just oversaturated with superheroes. And even me watching some of those superhero movies, what is the message? The last good superhero movie I'm gonna say I probably seen was one of the Avengers movies. I think it was when spoiler alert, I think it was when um Iron Man died and Captain America gave his shield down to, I think his name is Nighthawk, one of them. Yeah. Or Hulk, no, yeah, Nighthawk. And that was it. After that, like I watched other superhero movies, it just did not hit the same. There's no message. There's nothing that I walk away with.
Were you an
It's
X-Men person?
yeah,
I loved X-Men.
yeah,
That was
and
the
I
only
still do.
superheroes I liked.
It's just again, you from all those movies, you walk away with a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Like it pulled your heartstrings. Like I'm gonna do this now. I'm gonna be a better person. You know, but it's just about like, oh, you know, if I blow up this and blow up that, you're just gonna love it.
Yeah.
You know, and I like the fact that people who's never went to film school but they know movies, they're starting to see the BS also. That you guys are not really putting any effort into your movies. Like
Yeah.
what's going on?
It's true. Like
Yeah.
even animated movies, I appreciate the old stuff, and that's what I always
Yeah.
show to, like, if I'm going to show Ella a movie, it's
You're
going to
showing
be
like an
like,
old school Little Mermaid, the first
yeah, we watched Snow White.
yeah.
We watched what was the other one?
And who told her to change that animation? No one asked.
No.
No one asked you guys to change it. Why are you
Mary
guys changing
Poppins.
it?
We watched
Yeah,
Mary
man.
Poppins not too long ago, the
Spoonful of
original.
sugar.
Yes. And
Yeah.
if you don't let them watch those, I mean, some people don't watch any TV, and I applaud you. I can't be that mom, but I want them to appreciate the old stuff. Like Naya, she'll watch Chitty Chitty Bang Bang,
I
which
don't
is
even know what
older
that
than
is.
us.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
Oh yeah, Chitty Chitty
I
Bang
never even
Bang.
heard that.
I think it's older than Mary Poppins, but
Whoa. Okay. Mary Poppins is like 70s.
I think it's older than that. It
Yeah,
might be even like
72.
60s.
Yeah, I definitely know that.
60s or
And that was
70s.
animated?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, real life people, or like the original Annie.
One with the redhead.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just they don't I don't it's sad, man. I hate it that it's like that. I get it. You guys can make your money, but y'all can make so much more money if you just put efforts into those movies because people are gonna come out.
I think everything cycles back.
I hope so.
And
You're
it's
right.
my
You're
belief
right.
that it will come back because people get bored and they want to connect.
Yeah.
More than anything, we're wired to connect. If you think about, like, in tribal days, our survival depended upon us being accepted into the tribe. And so after this runs its course, people are going to be wanting more.
That's
They're going to
true.
be thirsting for more.
When you say that, I think about how remember when we were younger, when we used to watch sitcoms or TV shows, we would we would be so excited to come back to watch that episode. We
Yes.
would be excited to come back and watch
Like
the show.
Urkel. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
Urkel was
But
my
like
favorite.
streaming services today, they put a whole full season right there in front of you on this day. But after that, we don't care about watching like Netflix or whatever. But I noticed that now they're going back to the original way, which is we're only giving you one episode a week. I think they should go back to that. I don't understand why are you guys. To me, it's like it's feeding into the addict. because it's like
Yes.
a dopamine hit. Like, yo, now we
Yes.
can't. We want more, but we get all in one. No, go back to the original way.
I agree. I think it makes you more invested too in the
Exactly.
characters.
Exactly.
Like I get so invested that I can't even read fictional books. I remember years ago I read this book called The Coldest Winter Ever. It was about this girl, this teenage girl. Her
Is
dad was a drug addict.
is it one of those Zane books or urban?
It's an urban type book.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that title. Yeah,
Oh
go
my
ahead.
goodness. I was like so connected to the main character, even though I couldn't really relate to her, but like I just loved her so much that I
Mhm.
remember like I can't even go and take a shower because I miss this character. Like I feel like I'm missing the book, you know? Like,
Yeah,
and we do need that to come back because you
yeah,
can't just watch a whole season. And
mhm.
people do, they just sit in their house and just watch an entire. I mean, I
Yeah,
wish I had that kind
man.
of free time.
Yeah, man. But it's like again, it makes us lazy. We so become so complacent. I remember seeing that movie Wally. I don't know if you remember that movie
With the
Wally.
robot.
Yeah. Did you see like how disturbing it was to see those humans? They were just using hoverboards to move around. They were
Yes.
even laying on bed to move the hoverboards. It's just like that's where we're heading. Everything is about convenience.
Yeah. But I
And
think that exercise is so much more important than
absolutely,
just to stay in shape.
absolutely. I mean, exercise has always been important to me, but now me getting older, um, like just muscle bones, just like feeling that every morning. It's just like, oh man, now I understand why stretching is important.
Mhm.
And it's not about it's not about looking good, it's about feeling good.
Yes. And in your
Yoga,
mind.
yeah, I mean, like yoga, like being able to connect the mind with the body, stretching your muscles to certain positions, because mobility is one of to be the first things you lose as you get older. So
Mhm.
you want to hold on to that mobility as long as possible. But you can do that now if you just exercise or do yoga every day.
Yeah. Stretching, activating
Yeah,
your
it's very
muscles,
important.
even thinking about activating your muscles. They actually did studies on that where someone would just imagine as though they were flexing their biceps and their bicep muscles actually grew.
What does that tell you? What does that tell you?
That our minds create everything.
Yep. How it
Everything.
manifests is that, like, that's amazing.
I mean,
My
when I do psychic work, I'm amazed every time because I'm like, how the hell? How do I know that? Like, how am I really communicating with them? But they use the body. They use our body.
spirit, you mean, uses the body?
Yeah. So
I,
when I'm connecting in with someone mediumistically, like they're on the other side, sometimes I'll get a tightness in my heart and I'll ask, did this person die of a heart attack or there's a problem with their heart? Yes. And then as soon as they say yes, the feeling leaves or a pressure. Oh, I'll never forget. I did a reading for somebody when I was doing practice sessions. And this communicator on the other side was giving me the worst pressure and pain in my head. And I said, I feel like he took his life. And she said yes. And as soon as she said yes, the feeling lifted. So they use your body. But if I'm out of touch with my body,
Mhm.
they can't communicate with me as effectively, or you know what I'm saying? Like our
Mhm.
bodies are so important. Not that everyone's going out there to be a medium, but
No,
if
she can't even
spirit
believe
can
that.
use that
Yeah.
as communication, how else can it be used?
What's the what did you feel when you told me that you saw? I don't know if you felt my mom and my aunt.
At the
Now,
birthday
mind you, you
party?
didn't. Yeah, you knew
Yes.
about my mother passing away, but you didn't know about my aunt.
Mm.
My aunt, which is one of my cousin's mom.
It's just like you would remember what you ate for breakfast
Hmm.
and you would just recall that in your mind. It's like that, except I know it's not mine. And sometimes it comes with a feeling in my body. Sometimes it comes with an emotion. Sometimes all of a sudden I just have to change my position in my chair because their energy is just making me sit up straight. And that might be indicative to their personality in life. They always sat up straight or they were always like ready to go. So if you're aware of the fact that they can use your body and you're connected to your you're a grounded person,
Hmm.
they can use that. And
Hmm.
it's your job, and the training that goes into it is your job, or you're kind of trained to decipher all of that. But yeah, I don't remember so much of what I said, but I remember connecting with them, and I remember them coming in together. And it was as if it was just two people standing next to each other, just right here.
Yeah, because they both died from similar illnesses, cancer. So I just thought that it was thought that was you know kind of weird when you told me that. I was just like, wow, I didn't tell you that my other aunt passed away.
Did your aunt pass at home? I see a bed.
No, I think no, she passed away in the hospital bed.
What's the deal with her bed?
I have no idea.
I'm seeing an empty bed, but it's made very tidy.
They were tidy people.
Was she? Like
She
she
was
always
pretty
would have her
tidy.
bed made?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's not, it's like hotel level, like
Yeah, no, that's how
tucked
they
in
were.
sheets.
Yes.
Okay.
That's how my aunts are. Like my aunt and her sister.
Like
They no,
even
these
the
people came
shoes
straight
are
from Haiti.
lined
Yep.
up against the wall.
Hmm.
Okay. Everything just so.
Everything's just organized.
Yeah. But it's like a frustration, like a make sure it's like that. Like
Yeah.
it's like,
Very OCD.
yes, very
Yes.
OCD. Like it's
Yes.
almost taking joy away from the house.
Yeah, almost like yeah. Yeah, that's how they were, very organized. Um, they always wanted stuff cleaned a certain way, and they don't want anything to be out of place. It was just very OCD, man. And
There's a younger girl under her, under your aunt. I feel like I'm seeing who either is similar to her or has that same like
probably a younger
OCD.
sister. Probably a younger sister, which
Did she
is
raise her like a daughter? It doesn't feel
yeah,
sisterly. It feels like it's a next generation. Unless she raised her like a daughter, she could be presenting like that.
probably her baby sister, and she raised her like a daughter.
And she has the same kind of like OCD, like,
Yeah, she
okay,
instilled that into them,
okay,
and
she's
they're instilled
referencing
that into
her.
the kids too.
Okay. She's also showing me a picture frame, a photo picture frame.
All right, so when she passed, I made her a huge frame from Staples, a picture of her. Maybe that's probably what you're seeing. Yeah, I can
And
tell you one
it's,
thing with my aunt. That's interesting with the frame.
mm,
Again, that's not my mom because
so I always
my
get more
mom
detail from people that I don't know. Like when I know you, and this is my own limiting beliefs, I feel like I can't get all of these
exactly,
evidences from spirit because I feel
exactly.
like my filter gets in the way. If you were a stranger, I'll get A to Z. But with
Yeah,
people I know, it's
I think
harder.
it's. I
It's my
think
own belief system.
but I'm definitely. I'm thinking my mom will not show up. That's just what it is. She's just like she doesn't want. She said that because there was one time she had a dream where all of there was like 10 of me, but all of them had wings and they were babies. And she said all of a sudden, all of them just started flying up. And then she started seeing that all of them were flying up. And then one of them, she just grabbed. And she said that if she didn't grab on that, I could have probably died. So she took it as, like dreams is telling you certain things. And that's why she was so protective. And she doesn't, she's afraid that of me falling for people that may try to plot on me in my dreams. So they would use someone like her because they know I'm vulnerable. So she said that if I ever seen her in my dream, it's not her because she knows I would get vulnerable and that person would use me for evil stuff. So
Okay.
she said, no, that's not me. I won't show up.
So those are going to be your own beliefs that you have to work through if you choose to.
Yeah. See
Because when they
this.
come to you, they
Mhm.
come with so much love that you can't deny it.
I think that my mom will show up as someone else that I
Okay.
never seen before
So
because
if
I've had that. I've even when I'm in my house, I've always it's be so weird, man. I can't even explain it, yo, but I'll drift off and I just all of a sudden I feel a presence.
mhm,
It never feels like a male. It always feels like a woman.
that's truth.
It's never a male. It's always, and you know how if it's a spirit, it's a spirit. I don't know if it's male or female, but it always feels like it's a female that's sitting there watching me, just sitting there. And I'm like looking at the corner and I'm like, why am I looking over there when I know there's nothing there?
Yeah.
And I'll just pretend it doesn't exist. And I'll look again and I'm just like, Sasha went upstairs a while ago. And I'm thinking maybe because me and Sasha hang out so much that I think that she's there when she's not. But sometimes Sasha's not even there, period. And I'll still
Mm-hmm.
feel that.
Yeah, there's truth in the feeling.
Yeah.
I would not write that off.
Yeah. So I mean, I say that maybe that could be my mom
It could
showing up.
be.
Like,
But if she told you things in life and then you have certain beliefs in life, then she's not going to. She's not going to show up in your dreams.
that's what
Um,
I think it is. She's not showing up in my dreams because she's
but
showing
it's
up in person.
but it's not because of her, it's because of you.
Mm.
It's because she knows she told you that, and she knows you're going to trust that or hold on to
Right.
that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you decided to change that belief right now and welcome her into your dreams, she would come. That's the
It's
easiest
gonna
way
take
for
a
them to
while.
communicate for it,
It's gonna take a while only because like no, like
because it's been put
it's
in
not
there.
something that I should discuss with you, but in in my family there's just dark people that practice certain shit in our
Yeah.
family that
You
they've
come
done
from the
they do
island.
yeah they do things that try to harm us like
Well, you're
um
protected, Mo.
yeah, but my mom just she just always told me to just be aware of that.
Well, thank you for coming on and having this
Of course.
conspiratorial
Stupid.
conversation.
What's the name of the show again?
The inner script.
The Inner Script. Okay, that's cool. Thank you for having me on the Inner Script.
Thanks for being my friend.
Thank you for being a friend.
Oh,
I'm gonna get some
throwback.
tea.
Travel down the road and back again. We came back quite a few
Da, da.
times.
Yeah, I think what? How many fall offs that we had? Maybe two.
Not like mean ones though, or
No, 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 no,
cringy
no,
ones.
no, no. We've never had anything like it was never like for bad. It's just
Life.
you life.
Life
That's it.
happens.
Exactly. You started a family. I started a family. You started a career. I started a career. This, but as long as we end up still, reconnecting.
That's right.
Yeah, man. But
Love you, Mo. Thank
we
you.
love you too, yo. In a script.